The council chambers are filled with a thick tension, every alien species present unable to shake the cold, gnawing fear that has swept over them. This wasn't an ordinary meeting. Representatives lean in, whispering to each other, casting nervous glances at the holographic map floating at the center of the room. A map of the galaxy, marked with a new, ominous threat. Xylox. The name rolls out, barely louder than a whisper, but it silences the murmurs instantly. Known across the galaxy as the ultimate survivors, their planet is legendary for its vicious storms, relentless earthquakes, and the feral creatures that make survival nearly impossible. The Xylox are born into battle from their first breath. Their environment allows no weakness, no mercy. For the rest of the council, they are a nightmare embodied, an embodiment of danger no one dares provoke. They endure conditions that would shred our kind, says one council member, his voice shaky. And not just endure, they thrive. A representative from the peaceful planet Turian stammers out. But surely, there's no need to worry. They have no reason to expand beyond their borders, right? The hope in her voice betrays her desperation. A grizzled ambassador from the Skarga shakes his head. The Xylox don't need a reason. They're driven by survival, by conquering every force that stands in their way. They will eventually look outward. And when they do... He doesn't finish. The silence that follows says it all. The discussion grows more frantic, ideas and fears tangled into one cacophony of panic. Some demand a preemptive strike, others a desperate attempt at diplomacy. But every option feels hopeless, laughable even. The Xylox simply aren't like any other species. None of their usual tactics would work. Then, as if the universe itself wanted to mock them, the council chambers buzz with an incoming transmission. A scrambled, distorted signal flickers onto the central console. It's a distress beacon, a faint yet persistent signal pleading for help. A galactic outpost on the edge of Xyloxian space has encountered something unusual. A ship of unknown design, battered but functional. A species calling themselves humans. The council exchanges confused glances. Humans? The name is unfamiliar, unimportant, surely. An outlier, something that hardly merits their attention. They're uncharted, scoffs a Xylation representative, dismissive. Likely another minor species with minimal technology. Not relevant to our current threat. Yet something in the Xylox ambassador's eyes shifts. An interest, a hint of intrigue that sparks something dangerous. He stands, his hulking frame towering over the other council members, his voice a low, gravelly rumble. We will investigate. The council blinks in surprise, caught off guard by this unusual interest. But no one argues. Perhaps it's easier to let the Xylox focus on these humans than to contemplate their inevitable clash with the Xylox themselves. Within hours, the Xylox envoy arrives at the edge of human space, their ship sleek and imposing. They approach quietly, with the ruthless precision of hunters stalking their prey. As they near the source of the distress beacon, their scanners reveal a small human colony, barely established, surrounded by dense, hostile wilderness. At first glance, it appears weak, primitive structures, makeshift defenses, nothing compared to the Xylox's own imposing technology. But then, something strange happens. As they watch from the shadows, expecting to see helpless beings flounder against the elements, they witness a scene that's altogether unusual. A storm rolls in, dark clouds gathering with the ominous weight of thunder. Jagged bolts of lightning slice through the sky, illuminating the human encampment below. Any sensible being would take cover, flee for safety. But the humans, they move with purpose, not panic. They cover equipment, reinforce barriers, and gather together, as if to share strength in numbers. Some even laugh, voices bright and fearless, as if the storm is an inconvenience rather than a threat. The Xylox watch, confusion gnawing at their instincts. For the Xylox, survival is a grim, solitary endeavor, yet these humans band together, facing the elements not with desperation, but with unity. The storm intensifies, winds whipping through the camp with vicious force. A heavy, metallic structure creaks, on the verge of collapse. A human male shouts, rallying others. They brace the structure, their hands working with a speed and precision that belies the chaos surrounding them. Mud splatters across their faces, lightning illuminates their gritted teeth, but they don't falter. One Xylox warrior, hidden within the shadows, scoffs softly. He's seen warriors face death with courage, but these humans, there's something else here, something beyond mere survival. As the storm finally passes, the humans begin clearing debris, making repairs with efficiency and camaraderie. They've transformed an ordeal that should have left them broken into just another part of their daily existence. And in the quiet moments that follow, a faint sound reaches the Xylox's acute hearing, a human laugh, bright and carefree. It's as if they'd conquered the storm itself. The Xylox leader, still observing, feels a flicker of unease. This species, these humans, they're not what he expected. In their world, weakness is eradicated, and yet these humans have found strength in each other, in their shared resilience. He can't help but wonder, are they watching a species as deadly as their own? The idea unsettles him. The Xylox live to conquer, to dominate the forces that would destroy them. But as he watches these humans rise from the mud, shaking off the remnants of the storm with laughter and unbreakable will, he feels, for the first time in his life, a pang of doubt. The Xylox ship hovers silently above the human colony, cloaked from sight, every sensor tuned in on the beings below. The Xylox have come expecting to witness weakness, but what they find is something they cannot easily categorize. The human settlement is surrounded by dense, hostile terrain, a world of jagged rocks, acidic plants, and aggressive native wildlife. The air is thick with the scent of danger, an environment no sane species would willingly inhabit. Yet there they are, humans, moving confidently through the alien landscape. A woman carries heavy equipment over her shoulder, her stride steady, her expression calm, as if oblivious to the lethal plants that hiss and writhe in the distance. Nearby, a group of humans work together, repairing a broken structure. One points, gesturing to some kind of improvised tool, and the others nod, following directions with precision. There's no fear, no hesitation, only focused determination. The Xylox leader watches, a flicker of confusion in his otherwise hardened gaze. He's seen countless species encounter adversity, and most fall apart. These humans, however, seem at ease. They adapt quickly, work together, laugh together. It's a stark contrast to the Xylox's own harsh, solitary ways. This cooperation is unfamiliar, almost unsettling. A sudden disturbance catches his attention, a low, rumbling growl from a nearby thicket. A monstrous creature, scaled and snarling, emerges, prowling toward a lone human. The human glances up, registering the threat, and for a moment the Xylox leader expects panic. But the human doesn't flee. Instead, he calmly raises his hand, signaling to others nearby, who respond instantly, spreading out in formation. They move with practiced ease, surrounding the creature, blocking its escape. One of them steps forward, weapon in hand, but instead of rushing in recklessly, he observes, waiting for the creature's next move. The Xylox leader watches with keen interest. Strategy, patience, these are not traits he expected in a new species. When the creature lunges, the humans respond in unison, driving it back with coordinated movements. Within minutes, they have subdued the beast, and just like that, the threat is neutralized. They cheer, clapping each other on the back, grins breaking out across their faces as if they just completed a simple chore rather than face down a deadly predator. The Xylox are perplexed. Survival, to them, has always been a solitary, grueling affair. The idea of finding strength in unity, of drawing power from others, is alien. For the Xylox, trust is a vulnerability, a potential liability. Yet these humans seem to view it as essential, a bond that makes them stronger. As the humans continue their work, setting traps and reinforcing structures, the Xylox observe in silence. They notice the little things, the quick glances exchanged, the unspoken coordination, the way they anticipate each other's movements without words. It's as if they share an unbreakable connection, an instinct to protect and uplift each other. This, the Xylox leader realizes, might be the true source of their strength. One human, a young woman with a determined gaze, pauses to take in the landscape. Her eyes scan the horizon, lingering on the treacherous cliffside, the winding rivers of toxic sludge, the sky heavy with thunderclouds. The Xylux leader expects to see wariness, perhaps a hint of regret for choosing such a hostile place to call home. But instead, her expression is calm, almost defiant, as if daring the planet to throw more challenges her way. As night falls, the Xylux continue to watch, unable to turn away from this unexpected display of resilience. The humans gather around a central fire, their faces illuminated by the flickering light. They eat, they talk, they laugh, a sound so foreign to the Xylux, who have long forgotten what it means to find joy in the face of hardship. It's a vulnerability, the Xylux leader thinks, a softness that surely must weaken them. And yet, there they sit, unguarded, trusting each other completely. One Xylux soldier mutters under his breath, puzzled by this display. They don't fear the dark, don't fear each other. How can they survive like this? The leader doesn't answer. He, too, wonders. Watching these humans, he feels an unfamiliar sensation creeping into his mind, a mixture of respect and unease. This was supposed to be a simple mission, an observation to confirm their assumptions. But the longer he watches, the more he realizes how little he truly understands. Then, without warning, an alarm blares from one of the human devices, a warning signal. The humans spring to action immediately, their movements coordinated and precise. There's no shouting, no scrambling. Each person knows exactly what to do. Within seconds, they've fortified their defenses, positioning themselves at strategic points around the camp. They're prepared, not just for survival, but for victory. The Xylux watch in silence as the humans fend off another wave of native creatures, their courage unwavering, their teamwork flawless. What should have been a massacre is instead a testament to human resilience. They fight with a ferocity and unity that leaves the Xylux in awe. When the battle subsides, and the humans settle back into their routines, the Xylux leader leans back, lost in thought. These humans are not what he expected. They're not just survivors. There's something far more dangerous. They are a species that thrives on adversity, that draws strength from bonds the Xylux never considered. The Xylux continue their silent watch over the human colony, fascinated by this strange blend of resilience and unity. They've seen other species survive, even thrive, but humans are different. They don't just endure, they seem to embrace the struggle, each challenge met with ingenuity and determination. There's something almost unnerving about their adaptability. One morning, a heavy fog blankets the area, dense and thick, filled with acidic moisture that would corrode most materials. The Xylux expect the humans to pause, to take cover or delay their routines. Instead, they work as though it's nothing, using strange cloths and coverings to protect their equipment, adapting as if this was just another part of their daily rhythm. One group organizes a patrol, moving steadily through the mist, eyes sharp and scanning, every step calculated. Their leader watches in silence, observing how the humans interact. Every gesture, every glance carries meaning. Without words, they communicate and adjust, a well-rehearsed dance of survival. He senses something he cannot fully understand, a trust so ingrained, so fundamental, that it defies logic. For the Xylux, survival is an individual affair. Here, it's as if each human is an extension of the other. The fog begins to lift, and with it comes a sudden roar from the nearby cliffs, a predator, larger than any seen before, drawn by the scent of life. The Xylux leader tenses, his instincts honed for combat, yet he makes no move, waiting to see how these humans will respond. As the beast barrels down, its footsteps shaking the ground, the humans react without hesitation. They break into positions, forming a circle, weapons raised, eyes locked on the advancing creature. One human shouts something, a quick command, and within seconds they're working as one seamless unit. The creature lunges, claws outstretched, but it's met with a wall of resistance. A blast, precise and calculated, strikes the creature's side, forcing it back. The humans don't relent. They press forward, surrounding it, moving with a strange mix of caution and fearlessness. Their weapons may not be the most advanced, but their coordination turns each strike into a calculated hit, each movement carefully executed. The Xylox leader finds himself captivated. This wasn't a frantic struggle. It was a calculated, tactical assault, a display of intelligence and instinct in perfect balance. He feels a pang of something unfamiliar, a respect he hadn't thought possible for an unknown species. For the Xylox, victory comes through brute force, sheer endurance. But these humans, they use their minds, their unity, their bond. As the battle ends, the humans tend to the wounded and rebuild their defenses, sharing words and smiles, as if their lives weren't just on the line. They speak softly, encouraging one another, every exchange filled with warmth and reassurance. They don't just survive here, they belong, as if this hostile world is merely a part of them. The Xylox leader is both in awe and unsettled. Their approach is unlike anything he's ever seen. It's not driven by individual strength but by something deeper, a shared resilience that seems to fuel each of them. One of the Xylox soldiers shifts uneasily. They act as if this world can't harm them, he mutters, barely masking his confusion. The leader watches a young human woman laugh, covered in mud, her face alight with pride as she speaks to her comrades. He doesn't answer, but inside, he feels a strange pang, a recognition of something primal and powerful. He has been taught that strength is solitary, a force honed alone. Yet these humans are showing him a different path, a path where strength is woven into every connection, every shared glance, every silent understanding. Later, as night falls, the humans gather around a makeshift campfire, their faces aglow, shadows flickering across their expressions. The Xylox leader feels an almost painful curiosity. They laugh, they tell stories, they look out for each other in a way that defies his understanding. To him, it's illogical, a weakness that should have made them vulnerable. Yet these humans continue to defy every expectation, turning their bonds into armor, their trust into weapons. A Xylox warrior steps forward, his voice low. "We could dominate them," he suggests. "Take what we've learned and use it against them. They're still just human." The leader's gaze sharpens, his expression hard. But he knows, deep down, it's not that simple. These humans aren't just another species to be conquered. They are a mystery, a reflection of something he can't yet define. He feels an instinctive caution, a warning not to underestimate them, not because of their technology or their weapons, but because of the spirit they embody. It's an unfamiliar feeling, one that unsettles him deeply. He turns his gaze back to the humans, watching as they fade into the night, each heading to their own resting places, yet still somehow connected. For them, survival isn't a struggle against one another, but a shared journey, a path walked together. The Xylox leader knows now that they are witnessing something rare. This was not the easy observation mission he'd expected. These humans were unlike anything the Xylox had ever encountered. And with every passing moment, he feels an unsettling realization creeping in. Perhaps, just perhaps, they were not alone in being called Deathworlders. The quiet is shattered by a high-pitched alarm, the kind that signals imminent danger. The Xylox and humans both react instantly, instincts honed by survival snapping into place. The Xylox leader scans the horizon, his eyes narrowing as an unfamiliar fleet emerges in the distant sky. These ships are sleek, predatory, unlike anything in the human or Xylox arsenals. The humans tense, assessing the threat, and in a moment of mutual understanding, they look to the Xylox, acknowledging them as allies. The Xylox leader feels a strange surge of respect as he catches the gaze of the human commander, a look filled with determination, ready for whatever may come. There's no need for words. They both understand that this new fleet, these AKZR, are unlike any enemy they've faced. Ruthless and cunning, the AKZR are known for ambushes, for their tactical precision, and for striking without mercy. The humans move swiftly, coordinating positions, fortifying defenses, while the Xylox take up their own formations, seamlessly merging with the human perimeter. The air is thick with tension, both species working side by side, aware that the coming battle will test every ounce of their strength and resolve. The first attack strikes hard. The AKZR fleet releases a barrage of energy blasts, tearing through the landscape, throwing up clouds of debris. Humans and Xylox stuck behind cover, each instinctively trusting the other's movements. A human signals to a Xylox soldier, gesturing toward a point where the defenses are weakest. Without hesitation, the Xylox steps forward, fortifying the breach, covering his human counterparts with unwavering ferocity. As the AKZR soldiers descend, fierce and relentless, the humans and Xylox charge forward together, a fierce, united front. The humans move with practiced precision, each motion calculated, each strike deliberate. The Xylox match their efforts, their raw power and endurance complementing the humans' tactical finesse. The battlefield becomes a chaotic storm of energy, metal, and determination, but both sides hold their ground. At a critical moment, the AKZR leader steps forward, targeting the human commander with lethal intent. The Xylox leader intercepts, blocking the blow, his massive frame absorbing the impact. The human commander nods, gratitude flickering across his face, before the two of them launch a counterattack, side by side. There's no competition, no rivalry, only a shared commitment to survival. The AKZR adjust their strategy, launching an aerial assault, attempting to overwhelm the humans and Xylox with sheer numbers. But the human engineers react instantly, recalibrating their defenses, setting up anti-aircraft measures while the Xylox handle ground combat. Each species supports the other's weaknesses, transforming them into strengths. A human soldier, wounded but defiant, throws a final grenade, creating a barrier of fire that forces the AKZR back. The Xylox warriors roar in approval, charging through the flames without hesitation, their powerful strides shaking the ground. In those moments, human ingenuity and Xylox resilience blend seamlessly, each feeding off the other's courage. The battle drags on, relentless, each side fighting with every ounce of strength. But slowly, the AKZR begin to falter, their lines breaking under the combined assault. Human and Xylox forces press forward, driving the enemy back, unwilling to yield an inch. The Xylox leader's gaze meets the human commander's once more, and in that brief moment, they recognize that this fight, this alliance, is something greater than survival. It's a testament to the strength found in unity. Finally, the AKZR retreat, their fleet battered, defeated, and the battlefield falls silent once more. The air is thick with the scent of victory, of hard-won respect. Humans and Xylox stand shoulder to shoulder, covered in dust and grime, each acknowledging the other with a nod of mutual admiration. There's no need for elaborate speeches or grand declarations. They have both proven themselves in the crucible of combat, and in doing so, have forged a bond stronger than any alliance of convenience. As they gather their wounded and begin repairs, a human soldier turns to his Xylox counterpart, offering a tired but genuine smile. "Not bad for a Deathworlder," he says, his voice filled with a hint of pride. The Xylox warrior, still catching his breath, laughs, a deep, rumbling sound that resonates with shared understanding. The Xylox leader approaches the human commander, observing him with a newfound respect. "You are unlike any species we have encountered. Perhaps, we are more alike than I thought." The human commander meets his gaze, nodding. "Strength doesn't come from isolation. It's found in those willing to fight beside you." The Xylox leader considers this, nodding slowly. He has always believed strength meant standing alone, but now he sees another path, a path where strength lies in unity, in bonds forged through trust and struggle. This alliance, he realizes, is more than a temporary truce. It's a merging of two worlds, two minds bound by the shared will to survive. As they part ways, each side returning to their ships, there's an unspoken understanding. They came as strangers, even enemies, but now they leave as something else, something more powerful. Both species know that they are not alone in the galaxy, that they share a kinship bound by the title of Deathworlders. And as the humans and Xylox disappear into the stars, there's a sense that this alliance, this unlikely bond, will be remembered across galaxies.